welcome. Ama Fans Acava iDiski. This is episode 2. Igama lami nguSimanga Makhubu. And today, Bafethu, on the show, I have none other than my only number one Orlando Pirates supporter, Thami. Thami Fethu, welcome on the Big Daddy Football Corner, Ama Fans Acava iDiski episode 2. Thanks for coming, Fethu, and thanks for honoring the invite.
Thank you very much, Simanga. It's an honor and a privilege to be in your platform. I really appreciate the invitation.
So why PhD? Why the name PhD? Why everybody is calling you PhD? It comes up the number plate.
No, the number plate, I did not apply for it. It just happened as I was talking about football and stuff. Ustibo, the one who's used to us, talking about football and stuff. And, I've given, as we were talking, there were names that would appear. And I think people would take them because I'm that creative. One may say I'm a content creator of note with ease. So you'd find, because when I was less known, I would say things that were big and people would just take them. So we got to a point whereby as I was talking football, I said that these are PhD analysis. People would take 10 years or longer time for them to comprehend. So that's how the name came about, and people just love it.
No, 100%. No, Tommy, I'm not going to lie. You are very, very creative. You have a way of dodging questions or move into the direction that you want, and the narrative we drive it to the direction that you want it to go in your own unique way. But before we go deep and talk about the team that you love, which is Orlando Pirates, I just want to know, who is Thami? Who is PhD, and how did you fall in love with Orlando Pirates, Mpethu?
No, I think Orlando Pirates is in my genes from my grandparents and my mother. Both my mother and father diehard Orlando Pirates supporters. So I grew into the team. So unfortunately or fortunately, my dad, when Jomo Sono formed Jomo Cosmos, he had to move to support Jomo Cosmos. That's how great Jomo Sono was. So I grew up, even even before I knew my name, I knew that I loved Orlando Pirates. So it's a family thing. We are diehard supporters of Orlando Pirates. Yeah.
No, it means your blood in fact is black and white. We can't change it.
You can't change it. That's why I don't want to pretend and sound somehow. When you love your team, some other people may say that you don't understand football on the basis of saying you love your team. Remember, even those people that sit in high studios, they support their teams. It doesn't mean that you don't know football just because you support your team. Because people always say, yeah, this one is the Orlando Pirates, then he doesn't understand football. But when it's their team, they understand football. So I don't understand why should it not be. It makes sense when it's them. When it's us, it shouldn't make sense.
No, 100%. Tam, you are just touching in the Jomo Sono, and we all know, what he said about Tito, an ant, an elephant. What's your take around that one? About that specific words that were uttered by the legend himself?
I think I'm one of the most powerful voices that answered to that. I once made a video. And with respect to the great Jomo Sono, like I'm saying, if my dad could leave Orlando Pirates to support Jomo Sono, that shows you how great of a player that he was. But I think he was excited. I think he mentioned wrong. Sometimes you forget the standard and the statue that you hold as an individual, and you just speak jokingly because he's that kind of person who would joke, but I think sometimes you need to understand the level that you are in. If I were to tell you before I became the person that I am, I used to go to places that I wouldn't go to. I used to eat food that I don't now. I used to drink drinks that I don't now. Why? Because of the level and the standard where I am now. I avoid saying things that I would say in the past. For example, I would call Kaizer Chiefs players Butilezi Nkom. But now I would never say that because of the magnitude and standard Nguyo. So even Dr. Jomo Sono should have realized level akuyo ukuthi he can no longer say just anything. And because he is Jomo Sono.
I agree with you, PhD. It's very profound what you're saying, Vetu, especially when you are in certain platforms and emagama wakhulumayo, you need to be careful because they ayakwazi ukwakha futhi ayakwazi ukubulala, especially the level that you are. And I think I've noticed a couple of videos where you've tried to hold back of what you think because you understand what impact is going to have what you say on the people. In fact, I really love that. Let's go on, Skoko. Let's just jump on the game that was played on Saturday. Soweto Derby, second leg, Orlando Pirates winning that game 2-1. Yeah, it looks like Orlando Pirates is owning these people there, Thami. What's your reaction to that match?
When I arrived, I was inside the stadium when they scored. But I was looking for the place to sit. Then when I arrived, I think I arrived on the match on the 7th minute. Kaizer Chiefs had already scored. And I watched Pirates until the 10th minute. I told those people that I was seated with, I said, Pirates is going to win 5-1 here. They thought I was crazy. And I don't blame them because they don't have a PhD on this thing. So, but I showed them goals that Pirates missed that could have led to at least more than 5 goals. But I knew that Orlando Pirates is going to win. I think Kaizer Chiefs is not doing good, especially this season. Maybe next season, honestly speaking, they deserved. And in fact, they played far better, Kaizer Chiefs, in terms of results. Because 2-1 for me is not a true reflection of the match. I think they should have lost with a bigger margin.
No, 100%, Thami. I also feel the same. I think if Orlando Pirates was no Maliba Yegili, Orlando Pirates Yegili Chiefs, they should have beaten them with Yabono 6 or years of Pirates. That's what they should have done in this particular game. Legampo Tanje was a big one where he needed just to pass to Lokuza. Lega Mahopa as well is another one. That's 4 already. So I agree with you on that one. Hey, Orlando Pirates let them off the hook on that one. Let's move on. So, Jose Riveiro, Orlando Pirates came out last dance, a 3-year contract, and it's not going to be extended. He's leaving Orlando Pirates. Personally, I'm still hurt. I still can't believe it because he's one coach that fits what you call Orlando Pirates. When you mention Orlando Pirates, the picture that you have in your head is Jose Riveiro in every aspect. But most importantly is him coming in and taking a traditional Orlando Pirates of playing players from the DDC. But your reaction, in fact, to Jose leaving and how do you think Orlando Pirates needs to move from here?
I remember because there was speculation prior to us getting it officially that Jose Riveiro will be leaving us. I think it became a reality when we were told officially to say our coach is going to leave. If there's one of the few things that I ever asked the leadership of the team directly, personally, so without them having to ask me anything, I asked them for one thing. I did not ask them for money. I asked them to keep Jose Riveiro. If they can give him a lifetime contract, then that's what I asked for. That's the only thing that I asked for. But unfortunately, if one can say if they can say hello, they can also say goodbye. But let me tell you, also congratulating. Obviously, if a team does not want you out of the team, it means you've done exceptionally well. It's not difficult. It's not easy to be loved by Orlando Pirates fans. They demand so much. It means that he has done something great. But let me tell you, as much as we celebrate Jose Riveiro, we need to celebrate our chairman, Dr. Ivan Khoza. We need to celebrate Mpumi Khoza. We need to celebrate Nkosana Khoza because here's an idea. Remember, this guy, for them to eye for him, that's genius. Remember, this guy was interviewed. He was asked relevant questions to whether he qualifies, and he was told to say, here is where Pirates is, and this is how we play. Because much as we say Jose Riveiro absorb or he continues with players from the DDC. It's not solely him. It's also the management and the leadership to say, we run Orlando Pirates. Remember, if you doubt or if you dare doubt what I'm saying, remember the very same coach who is coaching Orlando Pirates is a Coco Melon himself, meaning he was also developed through the same system. So it's not a Jose Riveiro's kind of philosophy, but it's a Dr. Ivan Koza's philosophy. Even now, as I'm talking to you, I'm watching TV. I'm taking the DSTV Diski. I mean, the one that was introduced 10 years ago to develop young players coming from the DGC. I mean, this is a philosophy and understanding from the Iron Duke himself to say, I want to groom young players coming from the team. So this is not just a Riveiro's kind of success, taking nothing away from him, but this is an Orlando Pirates success that was designed by the Iron Duke. So you will definitely get another good coach, tell me, without any shadow of a doubt.
No, I hear you, Thami. That's why I said to you, what I love about Jose is that he fit into the model Orlando Pirates of playing players from the DCC. He did not come and start demanding. That's why it will be difficult to replace this guy, because there's a lot of names that has been mentioned. But what I always say in my mouth is to say, I don't want a coach that is going to come and make excuses of Orlando Pirates using DDC players. He must come knowing exactly ukuthi this is how we operate, afite into that, actually aqhubeke with the tradition Orlando Pirates, and where Jose left, continue with the project and don't start from scratch. If I were to ask you names, Thami, if you were to choose and sit into that platform Orlando Pirates, because at some point you're going to get into that Orlando Pirates board, siyayikhuluma lento in passing, but it will happen in the not so distant future.
I receive.
What will be your ideal coach out of all the coaches that you've seen?
My ideal coach would be a Jose Riveiro's kind of person, a humble person who's less vocal, who's more vocal on the field. But anyway, people have got different characters. A no-name coach. I hear people talking your pizza. No, not for me. A no-name, like I'm saying. I would prefer, I hear rumors that your Rolani would go, but for me, I'd rather have a no-name. The very same way who understand a qualified coach. Remember, Jose Riveiro is an UEFA A Pro license holder who has a lot to prove, who has a CV to build. Because now, Jose Riveiro, believe you me, he has built a CV for himself. So I want someone who's hungry, someone who is not too much into the South African politics of football, someone whom we won't hire today and tomorrow he calls Kaizer Chiefs management and Sundowns management to say, we don't want a spy, we want a coach.
No, percent.
So I've got no name. I want a no name.
I have a suspicion, Thami. There is a guy that is a physical trainer that was brought by Jose at the beginning of the season. He is hiding there. I have a suspicion, and he's a no-name, by the way. And personally, I honestly think that Orlando Pirates knew Jose was going beginning of the season. I have a suspicion, but we'll see.
You've got a PhD eye. You've got a PhD eye, I tell you, because in the back of my mind, I just didn't want to spill the beans. That was what I'm thinking at the back of my mind.
By the way, if I post confirmed on Twitter, Thami, if I post confirmed on Twitter, Blood is not coming to Pirates. They confirmed it's not happening. I don't know where that rumor is coming from, but we'll wait and see. CAF Champions League, Thami. We were defeated as Orlando Pirates. Painfully so. Even though I still feel that Orlando Pirates did well to be where they were. The league, in my own view, was gone. The league was lost, in my own view, on the 8th of February when we lost that 4-1 against Sundowns. But in your own view, what Orlando Pirates could have done better this season? Or in your own view, what's your... let's forget about the Nedbank, whether we win it or not, but just where we are at the moment, what's your assessment of Orlando Pirates?
Personally, I think Orlando Pirates has done pretty well. And we cannot play Sundowns all 30 games. We need other teams to play against them. Unfortunately, we can only play 2 games with them. We played 2 games with them. We took 3 points, they took 3 points. So 50-50 as far as head-to-head is concerned. But if you've got Avmakhelwane who are just here to give away points, they are costing us. If you don't have Stellenbosch that is rather would defeat Sundowns, then it's not up to us because we can't be the one holding Sundowns alone. But just not to be scared or anything, or just to try and avoid things. I think Orlando Pirates played very well in terms of winning. I mean, if you can win your first 7 games of the league according to the standard of PSL, you can win the league. So Pirates have done well, but unfortunately, Sundowns was exceptionally well, and we'll never shy away from the resources and the financial aspect of football. We know they have. People can try and hide. That's why people say I hate Sundowns, because I hate lies. That's the problem. I love the truth, and I'll always say the truth. If Orlando Pirates uses players from the DDC, I will say it is the truth. And if they buy expensive players, they've used enough money to win the league. So if it defines as hate, let it be hate. But we don't have money to buy an individual player with 60 million, and I'll never advise Pirates to do that, even if they had billions.
No. I hear you, Pratami. You just moved on into the next question. Can you please explain to me? Everybody keeps saying, no, Thami, where he's on the Chiefs, whenever he Sundowns, whenever he gets a platform, he's always bashes Sundowns. What's your take on that one? I know you've addressed it in another video as well, but what would you want to say differently from what you've already said?
First of all, to be honest, if there was any team that I would support beside Orlando Pirates, it would definitely be Mamelodi Sundowns. I will never support the Kaizer Chiefs for obvious reasons. If Kaizer Chiefs fans would say I don't hate them, and they would understand that I love them, Sundowns then should know that I love them even much better. The problem is with me, even generally as a person, I don't say things for people to love me. I say things that I know that they are the truth. Even if it takes you 20 years to 30 years to understand them, I know that my truth will come out. Let me tell you, I'm a person who loves reading. When I heard of Dr. Patrice Motsepe, even Sundowns players that were playing there, even Sundowns management, they did not know him. I read of this black man who's a businessman, who's ambitious, who wants to buy Sundowns. In fact, even by that time, and I was young, and I went to older people and said, there's this man, this powerful man, he wants to buy Sundowns. I think Sundowns will become a force to be reckoned. I said, this man is even richer than the 2 bosses of both Soweto teams. They said, you are crazy, you are still young, you don't understand these things. And today they are happening. I'm telling you, the very same people whom I told are supporting Sundowns. They don't come to me and said, you said it, but it's fine. What I'm trying to say is just that Sundowns is winning and they will become a rival. And as they become a rival, it will appear as if we hate them when we say our own truth, but we don't hate Sundowns. If, for example, I say, I'm just giving an example, a Ribeiro is marked by Mbogas. Football will always talk about finances and say, he comes from Brazil, but is marked by. That's how we talk football. If Messi is marked by an ordinary player, that's how we'll say. And if you define it as hate, then I will never speak lies for you to say I love you. I'm not that kind of a person. If I see that my brother, you are not clean, and if I have to tell you to you are clean for you to say I love you, unfortunately, I'm not that kind of a person. I know generally, like I always say, in South Africa, if you want people to say you understand football, speak good of Sundowns, then they will say you understand football. So unfortunately, I've taken a decision maybe at the age of 12 to say I'll always speak the truth. So I don't hate Sundowns.
No, I hear you. That's profound. And it's coming from a guy that is a PhD eye, and a PhD view, that giraffe view, to seeing before it's seen. Pratami, let's go on. I want us to play a game there. And I call this game Ama Fans Acava iDiski 7 Aside Supergame. I'm gonna ask you 7 questions. It's multiple choice. You choose between those answers that I'm gonna give you. Let's start. Are you ready? Sure. I'm going
I'm
to give you
ready.
3 names. Relem Fokeng, Tso Vilakazi, Tito Mosongai. Which player do you start in your first 11? Which one do you bench? Which one do you sell?
I start with
Sure.
Vilakazi. That's a start. I bench Relebohile Mofokeng.
And you sell Tito Maswangai.
You spoke about selling.
Yes,
You
you
spoke about
start
selling.
one, you bench one, you sell one.
My brother, your questions are not questions. Don't say
That's the whole point
selling.
of the game, Thami.
I don't have.
That's the whole point of the game. You make the choice.
I sell myself.
You make the choice. This is Thami's choice. Who do you start? Who is in the first 11?
Selling.
Who do you sell?
I'm sorry, my brother. This game is too much for me. I cannot sell Tito. So how are the fans going to sing now? Because even kids are saying, wait, Tito, wait, Tito. What am I going to say?
Which one is the first 11? Which do you bench? Which one is being sold?
No, I'll sell. Let me change. I'll sell Relebohile to Barcelona.
Okay, cool. Winning the league or winning Champions League? Which one do you choose? Sure.
Champions League,
Jeris
obvious.
Kosana
Champions
or
League.
Slimanyatel?
Yo. Slimanyatel.
Floyd Mbele or Skrima Shabalala? Siyamova Thami.
Do you know how close I am with this people?
You're just choosing one. We're moving time. It's a game. Sure.
Screamer.
Jose Riveiro or Root Kroll?
Yo.
The whole purpose of the game is to make it difficult as possible. Kaizer Mtaung or Patrice Motsepe?
Yo.
Last one, Fitz. Just name one supporter that you love, Thami, out of all of them that you've met, and the reason why you love that particular person. I don't want all of them. One.
It's not. Yeah. Or you don't want explanation.
Just one. We have passed the game, man. But I just want you to tell me that name one supporter and the reason of why you love that particular supporter or why you chose that supporter.
Yeah. Bota, I think he sacrifices so much into football. Sometimes we all want to eat, and when someone they say he's the, for me, let me tell you, I can say he's the number one supporter of South African football, and it would be unfair for me to just, even put myself there just because I want to be seen. I think credit must go where it's due. Bota is by far number one football supporter. Bota goes through the night asking for lift, even from, he sacrifices so much. Let's forget about the rest. And he's always singing. He has given so much to football. And he doesn't feel that football owes him. I've never had Bota speaking bad of football to say, hey, we do this and then we are not recognized. That guy, he attends football matches even far better than SuperSport.
100%. I think personally, he's the number one. Yeah. He's the number one support. The sacrifice that guy have made to go and watch football games.
Yeah,
it's crazy, Tom. It is, and he has did this thing for years. I'm not talking about 1 year, 5 years, for the rest of his life. Yeah. So yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. Thami, PhD. What role do you want to play into football? In fact, what legacy do you want to leave as when you leave this earth and some other day? What do you want to be remembered with and say, this guy, this is what he did?
I want to make football educational. Because remember, here in South Africa, back in the days, so it was known that if you are good as a footballer, therefore education does not make sense to you. So I want football to be for the wise. I want football to be linked with education. for people to understand that football is more than sport. It's employment. Football needs to be understood more from the brain. So I want football to relate with education. That's just my take. I want footballers or even football fans to be seen as people with good IQ, people that are smart, people that don't just go to stadiums for because they are stupid. I want people to understand that a football fan can go to parliament and make decisions, and that's what okay.
Impressive, Thami. In fact, you've attended a lot of games, Orlando Stadium, FNB, everywhere. But in your own views, Coco, what do you think the PSL still need to do to improve a customer experience? Because we are the customers, of because without us, how are they going to make money? Who's going to watch Super Sport or SABC? Who's going to attend those games? But what is that one thing that you see and you say, PSL, you can do better here to make sure that the experience in the stadium is far better than what it is for supporters?
I think safety plays a crucial role. There are a lot of people who wants to attend football matches, but they are bothered by safety. People always complain about that their cell phones get stolen and stuff and everything. There are people who brought criminal elements into football. They go there to work to steal. So I think the level of safety would be important because people want to go with their young kids. You don't have to go to VIP for you to feel safe. And I think if we can deal with the issue of safety, that's when you will see a football match being attended by, remember, we are a rainbow nation. When you watch football, you should be able to see a rainbow nation. It was good when you'd find teams like Vets. We need white people in football. We need Indians in football. We need Afrikaner in football because all those people contribute. Remember their strength and height. You can never be as tall as an Afrikaner person. And that's when we can compete because then if we compete against England, we know that we've got English people here. It's going to be easy for us to study them because English people are here. If we're going to compete against Ethiopia or whatsoever, we do have those people here in South Africa. So if we can have that, if you remember, Bafana, by the way, of 1996 was a rainbow nation. It had white people, it had Indians, it had coloreds, it had black people. We need to involve those people. You must see, when you watch the stadium, you should see a rainbow nation. That way we can defeat any nation. That's why we were that
100%. PhD answer right there. In closing, Thami says,
I'm the only one.
I want you to share one thing, Thami. That one thing that nobody knows about Thami. Few people know about this fact about Thami.
No, I just want to answer it in a football way. Thami is a very soft person, irrespective, because when I speak, I'm very humble. And when if you are in my presence, you wouldn't think. That's why a lot of people get surprised to say, you talk too much. But when we are with you, you are this humble. You are not, because some people would even think, no, he's always talking, fighting, and the sweetest person of them all. I think that's. But for people that are close to me, they know. Those that are far, they always get surprised. Are you this humble? You don't even know what to tell me. Because some would even, I'm like, I get surprised every time people remind me of myself. Like, I think I'm very humble.
So you follow that line, your parents, we remain humble. And now you are humble.
We remain humble.
My brother, thank you so much. I appreciate it,
very humble.
Thanks for honoring the interview, Mfethu.
Thank you.
Sure.